Well, hello there, Capricorn. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Today, we're doing your mid-May reading, so let's take a look at what the next 4 to 6 weeks has in store for you. Discovering truth. You stand in the light of truth, and your animal spirit card is Lizard Spirit. Dream the world into being. Okay, wow. Okay, the message I'm getting here is that the truth of the matter is, okay, there's a truth here, right? The truth of the matter is that there's nothing holding you back from the dream life that you are wanting, okay? It can be your reality. It's understanding that there may be some mindset or some sense of not wanting to change, because change is difficult, right? Change is never easy, but there's something about staying comfortable where you are, even if, and this is interesting, even if you don't like where you are at this time. It's almost like you'd rather stay in that comfort zone of knowing where you are and what you're doing, rather than allowing yourself to step into the truth of realizing your life could be totally different, but you would have to allow yourself to let go of the comfort of the knowing of where you are, to allow yourself to expand your horizons and to step into something new that is maybe not, that maybe doesn't feel quite as safe as where you are at this time, even if you don't like where you are or how things are going in your life at this time. Okay, so, we see this come into play. This is what brings in tower moments, right? Is when we feel like, no, I have no other options. I have to stay on the track that I'm on. Because it's kind of like, if I allow myself to look, and this is the truth, you're stepping into the energy of the truth, that there are other options. But it's also understanding that perhaps you don't want to allow yourself to take those other options because you're feeling comfortable in the situation that you're in, even if the situation itself is not really comfortable. So that is the energy of allowing yourself to get into the mindset of saying, yes, if I do really want something that's different, I have to allow myself to change my mindset, or allow myself, to be more flexible in the way that I'm looking at the world or looking at the options that maybe are available to me. Wow, these cards are just really wanting to talk. There's a strong message. It's almost, Capricorn, I feel like I'm kind of like in this energy. Yeah, it's time to clean up your mindset around, it's kind of like, and this has kind of been coming out, and I think reading your comments, so many of you are taking risks, are saying, yes, I do want to change the situation that I'm in. I want to change my career, my relationship, my life, whatever it is. I want to make the change. Yes, because look, this is beautiful, because I feel like it's almost when you allow yourself to change this one thing in your life, it opens up all these doors to seeing how you can change other areas of your life, because you're kind of like in this energy of feeling like there are no other options, right? Or if I take another option, then I'm losing a sense. There's a strong sense of comfort or security, safety, right? Very much root chakra energy here coming into play. Well, if I change, right, I don't know what that change will bring. So I'm going to stay here where I am, even though I feel like it's really this energy where you're not enjoying a job, a career, a relationship, a situation, some situation in your life. And yet at the same time, you're afraid of losing some sense of safety or security by making a change. Yeah, you're going back and forth. And it's all because of fear, right? So you're allowing yourself to stay in some situation. Ask yourself, where am I allowing myself to stay in an uncomfortable position, uncomfortable situation, 8 of Cups, walking away towards what will make you really happy? Why am I allowing myself? Allowing myself. That is the truth that you're coming into, right? Why am I allowing myself to stay in this situation instead of making a change? What is the basis of that fear? Yeah, because I feel like for a lot of you, it is about this sense of safety and security. Queen of Pentacles, very much your energy, right? Happy family, happy home. I have what I need. There's almost this sense of, but I have what I need where I am right now, right? If I expand and go after what I really and truly want, okay, then I have to take a little bit of risk. So it's kind of like, but I don't want to risk because I have what I need. I'm comfortable. I'm okay where I am. I may not have what I want, but maybe you have a house over your head, right? Or maybe you're making enough money that you have what your needs are being fulfilled. But your heart is calling you and saying, wait a minute, there's a whole big world out there. Why are we staying safe? And allowing yourself to stay in the safety net because there is a fear of risk, right? You have to take a little bit of risk in order to have expansion in your life. And change is always difficult, right? It's really difficult. Some people can do it much more easily than others. But there is something, you have a back and forth card. You're really and truly stepping into this energy of, I really want this, but oh, wait a minute, I'm okay where I am. It's kind of interesting because my granddaughter is getting close to turning 1, right? And she's at that cruising stage, right? So she was over at my house yesterday, and it's kind of like she cruises around the coffee table, and I'll put her toys up there and stuff. But then I'll put a toy on a chair, right? And that's really close to the coffee table to try to encourage her to step away from the coffee table, right? To go visit a toy that's over on the chair. And it's kind of interesting. She'll go all the way around the coffee table and visit all those toys, put them on the ground because she's at that stage. And then she'll see the toy in the chair, and it's kind of like she wants it, right? But she doesn't want to let go of the coffee table. She'll have one little hand on the coffee table and reaching out to get to the chair, right? I'm trying to encourage her to take that little step, but then she plops down on her knees and she crawls over there, right? It's kind of like a little bit of that energy. It's kind of like there's something. You want that little toy that's in the chair, just out of reach. But it's kind of like this lizard, right? And it's dream the world into being. But you see, he has like one hand on one reed and one hand on another reed, right? It's kind of like you're in between these two worlds. It's so possible. It's just like my granddaughter yesterday. It was like she's really trying. She wants to, but she does not want to get hurt. She honestly is just very much does not want to get hurt. She takes all the safety moves, right? And it's kind of like you're a little bit like you can literally, it says dream the world into being, right? You can see this in your dreams, but it's hard to bring it into reality because there is a little bit of risk. And being really truthful with yourself. Like sometimes what we have to say is, yes, I really want that toy in the chair, but guess what? I'm just too scared to let go of the coffee table. Sometimes allowing ourselves to say that to ourselves out loud instead of having excuses. The other thing is that sometimes we'll have excuses. Well, I really don't want that toy over there, or I really like the toys on the coffee table. I'm fine over here, right? It's kind of like allowing yourself to step into the truth and looking truthfully at what's holding you back. And then asking yourself, is that truth? Is that fear a truth? Is it a truth? Or is it just a fear? Because I feel like you're recognizing too that the fear that's coming out, right, is perhaps not really true. You're allowing this to keep you from the toy that's in the chair. So let's take a look at what your obstacle is. Yeah, you're just having a hard time letting go. You actually have to letting go. This is kind of a little bit like my granddaughter, right? She doesn't want to let go of the coffee table. She's fine trying to reach out for the other toy in the chair, but she wants to make sure her hand's still on the coffee table. Here's the thing. At some point, we have to be just like that toddler and know we have to allow ourselves to let go of the coffee table in order to be able to reach the chair, right? The chair is just, a smidge farther from the coffee table than her arm span, right? It's kind of like she could make it, but she's just not ready yet. And that's okay, right? And that's okay. That's allowing yourself to say, you know what? I'm just not ready yet. I'm going to get down back on my knees and crawl over there if I need to, but I'm not ready yet to really let go of something. But also recognizing that you can't bring in some treasure, what it is that you're really and truly wanting for yourself, what your heart truly desires, unless you close some other doors. As adults, we have to create void in our life. We have to let go. We have to have that moment in time where we're literally in between the coffee table and the chair. We have to let go. There's no hands on a chair or a coffee table, right? You have to stand in that moment where the void, we call that the void in the spiritual world, right? That's the void. The coffee table's no longer in your life, and you haven't quite reached the chair. Both hands are kind of up in the air for a moment. That's the scary part, because we don't know. Am I going to be safe? Am I going to make it to the chair? Or am I going to have to run back to the coffee table, right? And I feel like that's what you're doing. You're just allowing yourself to kind of hang there, not quite sure you're quite ready to let go of the coffee table to go towards the toy in the chair. So for some of you, okay, you're recognizing that this is a pattern maybe you've had throughout life, maybe a generational pattern. I think for some of you, you may be breaking some type of ancestral generation wound around keeping yourself safe, okay? It's a very much, I'll say that my grandmother always lived with us, right? And she had raised 8 children during the Depression. So she would not throw out anything. And I've talked about this on the channel before. If there were 3 peas left over at dinner, she would wrap them up. She would put them in a little bowl and wrap them with saran wrap and put them in the refrigerator. And I'd be like, Grandma, it's 3 peas. And she'd be like, those 3 peas might come in handy, right? And I totally understand after what she had been through, right? And for a long time, even when I was an adult and out on my own, I got into the habit of saving 3 peas until I realized, right, that I really and truly was not using the 3 peas. It's kind of like, I feel like maybe what you're doing is you're saving a little bit for that rainy day or saving for a disaster, right? Because it's kind of like that was part of your upbringing, or that could be part of your ancestral pattern. It's kind of like understanding, okay, but if I'm always saving for the rainy day, that's like holding onto the coffee table and never allowing myself to venture out towards the chair and maybe even beyond the chair, right? It's kind of like we have to take those baby steps. So you have professional assistance. Perhaps this is allowing yourself to find somebody that can help you to break this pattern. This could be maybe a coach. It could be a therapist, right? It could be a financial advisor if this has to do with finances or your health, right? It's about allowing yourself to find the people that can perhaps help you, to encourage you, maybe even to take a little bit of risk, or to really and truly tell you the truth of where things are, where you stand. Going to a financial advisor that tells you, yeah, this is where your finances are. Yeah, you're going to be okay. Or maybe you're not, right? But it's kind of like discovering the truth instead of perhaps I feel like you have an illusion. You've created some type of an illusion, and perhaps because of your upbringing or something that you have seen occur to other people in the past. It's understanding that's an illusion. That is not a truth. Fear is an illusion. Fear is not truth. Right? It's allowing yourself to see the truth of the situation and then allowing yourself to break some pattern around it, because you have the Two of Swords. You're blocking your own happiness. You're blocking the world that you are trying to create, because you're basing your decision based on illusion instead of truth. For some of you, you could be, it's kind of like, let's go back to my granddaughter, right? And I'm encouraging her. I'm over by the chair, encouraging her. And, it is, I'll even put my hand out. I'll put my finger out to try to help her, right? It could be a little bit like that. It's kind of like maybe what you need is an encourager. When I put my finger out, she'll take my finger. She still has a hand on the coffee table, but she'll take my finger, but that's not the chair, right? She'll take my finger and then bring her other little hand over to get to the chair and the toy. It's a little bit like that. Maybe you need somebody that'll give you a little bit of encouragement or give you a little finger, right? To help keep you steady as you move towards the chair. But understanding that that's okay. We none of us, right? I mean, there are some people that can take big leaps of faith, right? But if you're not a person that takes big leaps of faith, it's kind of like allowing yourself to see, what is it that I can bring into my life, right? Who can I have that will help me, encourage me to take these steps, right? Even if I need a little finger, but then I can enjoy the toy that's in the chair and not just keep going around the coffee table and replaying with the same toys over and over again. Expanding your horizons, allowing yourself to see how maybe there are some options in your life that will help you to kind of expand your comfort zone. Even if it means that you may have to ask for help. That's the hardest thing, right? Sometimes the hardest thing is asking for help. Asking for someone to encourage us, either encourage us or to give us the truth. It's almost like, I feel like for some of you, you don't want to know the truth, because if you knew the truth, it might mean that you really could go towards your dream, right? But that is also scary in itself, because it's kind of like, but then I have to allow myself to step out of the comfort zone, right? It's kind of like if you wanted to play with the toy in the chair, right? But you said, well, I can't because the chair's too far. And then if you had somebody that said, no, actually I measured, you can reach it. You just have to stretch a little bit farther. And you were like, no, I don't think so. And they're like, no, I'll show you the data, right? I'll measure it. I'll measure your arm length and I'll measure the distance to the chair. Yep, you can make it. You're going to be fine. I see it. You're going to be fine. The numbers show that I have facts to prove it. And you're kind of like, I don't know. It looks a little too far. I don't think your numbers are right. Right? It's a little bit like that. It's kind of like understanding you may, even if you got the facts, you may be wanting to deny them. Okay? And the reason is asking yourself, well, why is that? Well, because if I really go over there, then I'm also allowing myself to have to admit, there's almost like something where you have to admit that what you thought was true isn't actually true. But you've been allowing yourself to keep that illusion going because it was kind of like the excuse to not actually expand your horizon. It means that your life would really change. And then asking yourself, well, then do I really want my life to change? Wow, really powerful. Like this is truly, and I know Pluto is kind of like going back into your sign here for a little bit, a couple of months. I wonder if part of this is kind of popping up because you're starting to really understand that things are expanding. The world is truly expanding. Now that Pluto is going into Aquarius, right? It's retrograding back into your sign for a little bit, but understanding the world is not the way the world was for the last 15 years. Things are speeding up, and it's kind of like understanding you have more options, but for so long you may have kept yourself confined to thinking that you didn't have options. Wow, this is really kind of like helping you to step into something new. Mending your own relationship with yourself. Because you're allowing yourself to see the world in a totally different way. And it's creating a totally different way of you to move forward. If you're allowing yourself to take the challenge. Yeah. It's a little bit about allowing yourself to take the challenge, a little bit of a risk. Wow. Really, I feel like for some of you, Capricorn, because Jupiter is getting ready to transit on May 25th, I wouldn't be surprised if some of you, if you allowed yourself to see the truth of why you're allowing yourself to hold yourself back, the illusion that you're holding on to, and an illusion that you are claiming is the truth. If you allow yourself to step into looking at that truthfully, right? Really and truly allowing yourself to look at that. For some of you, it may mean like going to a coach or maybe even a therapist, allowing yourself to really take a look at that as Pluto is kind of doing this retrograde, and then we'll move forward. I would say that some of you, 1 year from now, your life will be totally transformed. You would step into an energy of looking for more toys beyond the coffee table. I just have this picture. It would be like my granddaughter not only just playing with the toy in the chair, but then, cruising and moving on to other chairs or whatever. It like totally allows you to expand your vision of what the world is and not always making decisions in order to allow yourself to stay safe. Okay, so let's pull a soul truth card for you. And Capricorn, I do personal readings. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. When was the last time I danced freely? This is interesting. Yeah, because it is about it's a little bit like you go to a dance, but you only want to dance like a waltz or the foxtrot, or I don't know, I'm dating myself. Something that has specific steps and that you know the steps too, right? You only want to dance those dances. This is going to the dance and saying, okay, yeah, I'll dance the waltz. Yeah, I'll dance the foxtrot, but I'll also dance just by myself, or I'll dance to some music I've never heard before. I'll do improv, dancing, free-flowing, right? It's allowing yourself to experience the world in a totally different way and not having to have specific mindsets or specific rules or specific dance steps, right? Allowing yourself to break these cycles and say, yeah, I'm ready to also. It doesn't mean that you're completely throwing away what you have now, but it's allowing yourself to expand, at least in one sector of your life, to dance a little bit more freely. Yeah. And be a little bit more spontaneous, not feel like you have to follow a regimented routine or practice. Okay, dance, because it will shift you into a beautiful state, because it will get you out of your head and into your body and heart, because fear lives in the head along with anxiety, control, guilt, frustration, and impatience. In just a few minutes of dancing, you will make the shift. You will feel a change of joy and confidence take over, and you will feel a soul reminder to live and lead from your heart. Dancing is a tool to ground us in the now. It triggers happiness, and it is the gateway to freedom. To become free, dance. Yes. And you know, for some of you, the truth of the matter is that maybe part of this fear is that you're always, I think that came out in your weekly reading, didn't it? I'll make sure I have that at the end. It was the weekly reading for all signs. Yeah, that you're so worried about the future, you're not even enjoying today, right? It's kind of like saving for a rainy day. But it's kind of like the rainy day may come, the rainy day may not come. But all we have is carpe diem, all right? Seize the day. Seize the day that is right in front of you. Have some fun. Turn on the music. Dance, right? I'll tell you, this is something that really helps me. I just turn on that music, dance for 3 minutes, dance to one song, and it will change your vibration. You will get out of your head and start enjoying life a little bit more. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Capricorn. It's always so lovely to see you. I really love you, and I really appreciate all of your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.